Hello everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review on time.
Yep.
Hopefully going up not late, maybe a couple of hours late, but in the same day at least.
Yep.
And the books in this review were released on
January 28, 2015, the last week of January.
And guys, don't forget, after this video on Comic Frontline, we have Frontline Live this coming Tuesday, which is tomorrow for when you guys are watching this review. And on this channel, come back on Friday, and we have Dark Avenger Live. That is the Everything Show, where we will be taking your guys' questions in the comments. We'll be answering your guys' questions and statements in the comments. We'll be talking comics, toys, video games, you name it. It'll be talked about. There may or may not be guests, depending on time. There might be some Minecraft involved with Cindy. We're still working out the details, but it's a show where we're going to have a lot of fun, and there'll be some giveaways possibly. I mean, we do have lots of codes from lots of Marvel books, so
you never know.
Let's see. So let's start with your book this week, Michael.
Okay, we're going to start off with Marvel Comics, Spider-Man the X-Men, issue number 2. And in this comic book, from what we saw last time, they are captured in Staten Island by...
I like the artwork.
Yeah, I'm going to show some artwork like this one right here. And they were captured by, I forgot, these dinosaur-like creatures. Like, I can't remember what their names were. But anyway, Shark Girl from last issue betrayed them to go with them. But there's actually a thing behind this when they're in prison that... the mission that Wolverine was actually saying to them was that Shark Girl was actually going to just fake the whole thing, so that way she could find out more information about Stragan and what's the other one's name? Stragan and I love how I don't give the villain indexes.
Well, don't worry about it then. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so just to find out more about them, they do a little experiment with
Sauron?
Yeah, Sauron, yes, thank you. So they do a little experiment with Gloob in the test tube, making him like this cute monster, like they say.
It's a Triceratops.
Well, they say it was a cute monster, basically. And Spider-Man and them, they just go back to Plan A, Operation just...
Kick ass.
Exactly. Because they were just trying to work together and everything. And then Shark Girl just helped them out throughout everything. And there was a fight between Stragon and Sargon, which turned to Stone End, so to say. And Storm is like really mad. Spider-Man just saying, you know, where are my students? They better not be here and all that stuff. And I thought that was funny.
I like that they had a classic Spider-Man villain show up at the end.
Yeah. So I'm not going to spoil the ending. You guys definitely have to see that. Really interesting. And definitely something to look into.
Nova issue 26. Sam is having a good life. He hasn't been Nova for a very long time. He now has a girlfriend. He's now dating the girl from the previous issue. I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but I will in a second because I'm going to show you guys some artwork. I did like the artwork in this book, though. Also, Sam's father is working on going to nowhere. We don't know what's up with Sam's father yet, but anyway, Carrie. Carrie's boyfriend ended up dumping her, and he started dating Carrie. He started working hard in school and everything, and because of the whole concussion thing, he decided not to be Nova for a while. So basically the Nova helmet just collects dust. However, as we saw in the last issue, Mr. Sam Alexander opened his mouth to the wrong person, and he was suffering from a concussion, so technically he really probably didn't know what he was doing, but he gave his name to Cletus Cassidy. And this was during the time when Cletus was a good guy. Now, because the effects are reversed back to and changed him back to normal, he's paying Sam Alexander a visit. However, he's not paying him a visit in a friendly sort of manner, so Sam has to become Nova again. And yeah, The concussion definitely shows it rears its little head a little bit within this fight between Carnage and Nova. Nova gets away, but barely. Carnage actually ends up running away. And Sam has to now come up with a plan to figure out how to trick Carnage into believing that Sam lied. Basically, he told Carnage that, I'm not Sam, I just made up the name. And he's like, yeah, sure. So Carnage doesn't believe him. So now it's up to Sam to somehow protect his secret identity from Carnage. And the next issue, it's going to continue the battle between Nova and Carnage, or should I say, not Sam Alexander, Nova and Carnage.
Wow.
Interesting stuff. I'm really enjoying this issue. I don't know about the cover art, but the inside is really good. Good stuff. So Sam's been doing pretty well with himself without being Nova, but now he's forced to be Nova again. And how Carnage plays into all this. All of a sudden, Carnage is everywhere. Too much Carnage. And now, scary enough, we only have 3 Marvel books this week. Spider-Man 2099, issue number 8. This is the final tie-in to Spider-Verse. All that's left is Amazing Spider-Man 14, and this book leads right into that. So, Lady Spider and Miguel return to Earth, what was it? Earth, 001, was it? I don't know. Can you tell me what Earth it was?
If I find it.
I'm quiet. The safe zone. Let's just call it the safe zone.
Me.
And it turns out that the safe zone was breached, and we know that from issue 12 of Amazing Spider-Man. However, they find the Japanese Spider-Man's robot. And what do you think this issue is going to be all about?
The robots.
The robot. Lady Spider goes back to her Earth, Earth 803, and convinces Harold Osborn to use his father, Norman Osborn's workspace to fix the robot. And basically she says it's for Lady Spider, not for her. And since Norman is the Green Goblin, guess what happens towards the middle of this book? The Sinister Six shows up, or Lady Spider's version of the Sinister Six. What I do like is Mysterio's a coward. He runs away like lickety-split. He's gone by the middle of this issue. The fight was awesome between all the Sinister Six villains and Miguel. Lady Spider kicks butt in this issue too, and let's just say somebody from Lady Spider's universe dies, and it's not Miguel and it's not Lady Spider, that's for sure. In the end, though, it all leads into Amazing Spider-Man 14. I will spoil the ending because basically it was all about the robot, so they ended up fixing the robot. So, honestly, this issue was just all about finding the Japanese Spider-Man's robot and fixing it to somehow take it to the Inheritors on Loom World. It was an okay issue. I can't wait for Spider-Man 2099, just like Spider-Woman, to go back off on his own and just enjoy his story. Now, we got Battle World coming after Secret Wars, so even though Miguel is going back to 2099, he's just going to end up right back on the same planet as Pete in less than, what, 4 or 5 months? So we're going to get like 1 or 2 story arcs before we get Battle World and everybody's living together in harmony again. Or not harmony again. DC Comics. Red Lantern 38. I didn't really particularly enjoy this issue at all. This is the aftershock, not of what we just went through with the New Gods. This is the after effects of what happened in the story arc before that, when Atrocitus basically took an entire town's worth of people and converted them into Red Lanterns. Let's put it this way. Imagine Zombie Apocalypse meets Red Lantern rings. Basically, this entire town is dying because they are suffering from overdose of rage. And they're suffering from the after effects of the Red Lantern ring. So in the end, it's not a happy story for Guy Gardner, I will say that, but basically everybody just incinerates and dies. And Guy's there to try to help, but he can't. And still, he's the only one he's basically the angriest man in the universe. And somehow, he survives the entire death and destruction of this town that was plagued by Atrocitus and forced into becoming Red Lanterns because of Atrocitus. That's really it. I feel like there's really nothing from this story. I came away with nothing from this story. This is a fallout from a story arc 2 story arcs ago. And I just don't feel anything for it, honestly. I have no... This feels like it was a story that was written months ago that they decided to put out now instead of later. If this book wasn't ending, I would say it's on the... I'm on the fence with it right now, but because there's only, what, 2 or 3 more issues to go, I'll continue it to the end. Maybe the next couple of issues would be good. Wait and see. The Flash issue 38, again, it's a lot of the same stuff. You got Dark Flash in the present, dealing with the, I believe it was the Quiet Man, if I'm not mistaken. He's dealing with a lot of death, and he's angry because Iris is getting excited over her news article, yet innocent people have died. And Mirror Master is training some new guy to join him in the Rogues, and of course Flash the Dark Flash shows his colors in the fight between what's his name? I can get his name at the beginning. It's here. I can't get his name. I don't know what it was, but oh, here we go. Nope. Okay, I thought I would get it. I forgot his name, but anyway, it doesn't work out well. And like I said, Future Flash shows his true colors, and now everybody's starting to fear this new Flash because he's not afraid to rough up the bad guys. And I think that Patty is on to our Dark Barry Allen as well, and she's now gonna she's doing her little detective work on the side to figure out what exactly is going on. While in the Speed Force, we get a little bit of background on one of the characters, the guy that saved Barry, actually, and how he got trapped in the Speed Force, and how he's the only one that can actually get Barry his speed back, his super speed back, and hopefully, in doing that, send Barry back to his time. Interesting stuff. Okay, we now have Sinestro issue number 9. This definitely was a lot stronger than Red Lantern. Sinestro definitely, for me, is still on my pickup pile, on my pull list. So Sinestro's still on his journey, or his quest to save all the Thanagarians, and there's a distress call that's put out. I forgot what it was, about some Thanagarians that are trapped or something. I forgot if they were trapped or if they were refugees looking for help from Sinestro. He knows something's fishy. He ends up finding them, and it leads to, it was not a trap, but an invitation. An invitation to what, though? Sinestro leaves the Corps and his daughter with Lisa Dark to answer that invitation. Who sent out that invitation? Mongol. Because he hasn't forgotten what Sinestro's done to him in the past. And the rest of the book is really a knockdown draw fight between Sinestro and Mongol. I don't want to spoil too much, but in the end, it turns out there's somebody else gunning for Sinestro. The Apex League. And it looks like they're a lot stronger than Sinestro.
Wow.
So, all in all, though, really strong story. I'm enjoying it, and I definitely will be back for the next issue. Love the Flash cover here, though, by the way. My favorite Flash cover, though, has to go to the Flash number 38. Or, yeah, 38. Definitely the best part of the Flash book.
Speaking of Flash, this is the cover version of the 75 Years of Flash. Justice League Dark, issue number 38.
While you do that, I'm going to get a drink real quick so I don't end up like you on the indie review.
Haha, you're funny. So, like that would happen. So, at the end of time, it starts off there where Nightmare Nurse Swamp Thing feel a like this power of some type, like a force outside there. While in the Kingdom of Now, Madame Xanadu, Deadman, and Black Orchid are at their time, and it's really that their powers aren't really that much of good use because of where they are in a different world. So there is a death scene in this story, but I don't want to say who it is. And here's some artwork, which is drawn very excellently. And
looks like Groot.
Well, it isn't. It's actually what's the name?
Groot?
No. It's the World Tree, basically. And it's basically, like, tries to solve everything that happens. Like, you find out more as, well, first of all, Zatanna tries to make sure that they're real because she has this illusion of seeing John Constantine and the kids, you know, like this page over here. But that one's just all an illusion that Zatanna's been suffering for, like, 10,000 years or so. From where she is 10,000 years. And the World Tree, you know, is saying that there's a creation in crisis and it needs your help. So what the tree does is actually create this.
The House of Mystery?
The House of Mystery actually resurrected and has come back. Which, and everyone as well, minus John Constantine, has reunited. And Zatanna and the rest are just trying to get rid of demonic stuffs, but Zatanna's barely alive. So they gotta see, we're gonna find out what happens next time with everyone. But this was, it was okay. I give it like an average, half and half.
Deathstroke issue number 4. We finally find out who Mr. Red is. Or should I say Mrs. Red. Turns out it's a woman. We also find out that Black Tiger, I believe his name was. Was it Black Tiger or Gold Tiger? Bronze Tiger. Wouldn't have remembered that in a million years because the character means nothing to me. Was hired by Slade's father to kill him. So, after a lot of dialogue and a lot of reveals, let's put it this way, about who I believe Red X works for and why they're working for them and why they want Slade to help them. Let's just say Slade ends up going to Gotham to find Jericho. And why Jericho went to Gotham is the best part. I'm skipping the father part. You have to read that for yourself. But we get to see Revenger, a.k.a. Rose Wilson. So Jericho's in Gotham to be with his sister. So after arriving in Gotham, we have the scene that you see on the cover. The reunion of Deathstroke and Harley Quinn. And he apologizes and tries to explain why he betrayed the new Suicide Squad, that it was to save them and prevent them from dying, while also his own mission and sacrificing himself. And Harley's like, "Oh, I understand, no worries, we're fine." Until the end of the book, where basically she sets him up. And she goes, I love this part, "Nobody betrays me, nobody." And when you're in Gotham, who's the one person you're bound to find?
Batman.
Batman! To be continued in the next issue. Oh, I don't know, but Tony S. Daniel draws a badass Deathstroke, but he also writes a badass Deathstroke. I will say that. Great stuff. Cannot wait for the next issue.
Yep, and speaking of great stuff, He-Man the Eternity War, issue number 2. And this one actually is picking up very nicely, actually. It starts off where they're like at war right here.
Finally.
Yep, well, it's just the second issue, really.
No, I mean after everything that's gone on in Eternia.
Well, they want to retake Mount Zor, so So they have this thing that happens 2 nights earlier than that, where you know, He-Man's just telling a Man-at-Arms, you know, that he can't stop being He-Man now because they're at war and he has to stay strong for Eternia. So the Warriors of Serpent, I love the artwork, flat out, just astounding and amazing. And you know, the whole fight is on and everything, and there's also Roberto, who helps out that kind of space armor. Why do I forget his name? Well, basically, he's like out in space. If you want to find out more, you should read the book. And He-Man's just trying to prove that he doesn't need the power sword of Grayskull to help him fight, because he's just being regular He-Man without the sword. Because like I just said before, that's what he's doing. So as that happens, you know, he gets victory, He-Man, and he says, "First blood is ours, let Hordak tremble." But as the issue continues on, let's just say that something happens with Roberto and everything else. And if you want to find out what it is, well, you have to pick up the issue to definitely find that out. Or you can listen to the live show on Frontline Live this Tuesday.
Last book before we get into the weeklies, Batman, issue number 38. This book was excellent this week. It turns out we find out that Joker was working with somebody to create the toxin that is plaguing Gotham. Also, unfortunately, spoiler alert here, Jim Gordon falls victim to the Joker's virus, finally. But we also find out that the virus is killing everybody and he has less than 24 hours to find a cure. And Batman is now struggling for time to figure out what the cure is. And he reaches out to Dick for help. He gets a little bit of help. He finds out that whatever drug is hurting Gotham works in reverse for Joker and is actually giving him regenerative abilities, which is why when Jim shot him, he came back to life. So basically it's life and death, as Batman puts it. So Joker basically is the cure. He has to get Joker's blood. There's a lot. I'm going to show you guys, there's a lot of dialogue with the person who is actually working with Joker. And let's just say Joker's getting the last laugh with that person too. And the people Batman turns to for help, because Penny too actually tells Batman that Joker has been around for hundreds of years. And she said, if this is doctored work, it's excellent because it's hard to see. And Batman's like, it has to be, it must be. But there's one person or one group of people I know, and I didn't read the secondary story. Before anybody jumps into the secondary story, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, I cannot.
Ew.
No.
What the hell?
Not my, definitely not my cup of tea for artwork, so I skipped it completely. But the people Batman turns to for help was a shocker. And I'm leaving it, literally, at that. If you want to see more, I don't know if I have this slated for a review on Comic Frontline. I'm going to double check, but if I do, I'll mention it there. But it was wow when I saw
who
he
would have
went
guessed
to.
that?
I don't know. This week it was hard to put these in order.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Would have guessed that.
But anyway, these next two books, it was hard to put them in order. Future's End, issue 39, I really didn't get too much out of this because it was all about Dr. Polaris saving or helping Firestorm separate again. And lots of dialogue between Firestorm and Superman, and how Superman, or Shazam I should say, is being jerky and needs to, what do you call it, be nicer or whatever, or live up to the shield. I really got bored with the whole middle section with 50 Sue and everything else. Superman had a nice small scene. John Constantine's really cold, I will say that.
Yeah, he's known to be that way sometimes, but now he's getting worse.
And they're still hinting towards what Batman did to Superman. I don't know what he did, but oh boy. For Superman to give up being Superman because of Batman must have been bad. And then the whole ending with Frankenstein. Yeah, I could care less about Frankenstein.
Wasn't that like that in the last issue? With what happened with Frankenstein at the ending page?
Yeah, sort of. And then it ends with something is coming. Something really bad. And if you saw the cover for issue 40, you know exactly what that something bad is. Brainiac. Okay, so now we're at World's End, issue number 17. The continuing help for Helena. Kara wants Batman to save his daughter, and there's only really one way, and it involves Venom, which he uses to keep his strength up. He does it. She's safe, but weak. And like I said, the baby, or the spawn of Darkseid, is now born. And what the spawn wants to do is destroy the world from the core. And you got Big Barda in here. You got the Sod. They decide to attack the people, the rest of the remaining living people on Earth, the 2 million people that are in that spot that the Atom made. So they try to attack the Justice Society, because that's what I'm calling them. Fight to protect the people in the New Haven. You got Jimmy and Mr. Terrific trying to get to that planet-sized ship. You got a nice scene with Hawkgirl and Flash, but it all culminates back to the last remaining survivors on Earth, and then the ending, we get Kala back. Now guys, give us just one click of the button, because we are officially only at 1 minute left. We were so close to doing it in one part, but anyway, give us just 1 second and then we will conclude this review. Okay, and the last book of the week is Batman Eternal, issue number 43. I enjoyed this issue a lot. I will say that I did enjoy it. It connects a little bit to what happened in the Batman issue that connected to Batman Eternal, but it stretches and it expands on it, and then it moves forward. And the grand reveal at the end was definitely a shocker, but I know it's not going to be what it looks like. So anyway, Batman is working with Bluebird to basically invade Catwoman's casino and to save Spoiler. And it jumps from the present into the past, because Harper now has Spoiler in her place. Basically, she's taking care of Stephanie Brown now. And Batman wants to be friends with her and try to get information out of her nicely. And yeah, friends doesn't work. So they go to 6 hours before, and it's all about Stephanie being in the custody of Catwoman. I'm not going to spoil any of the dialogue there. And it's also Red Robin enlisting Harper to help Batman save, or get, I should say, Spoiler. And Harper gets so pissed off because she's like, Batman didn't send you, did he? You want me to do this. Batman doesn't need anything from me. And she says, well, what am I wearing to this? And he's like, no costume. He was very firm on that. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm firm on my own thing. So she brought her costume anyway. And then a lot of it leads into what we saw in the Batman issue. So I'm not going to go through all that again. But the ending, Spoiler doesn't want to go with Batman. And we don't know why. All throughout this issue, Stephanie keeps saying, anybody but him, I want to stay with you. I want to, I don't want to be with Batman. So why is she afraid of Batman? In the end, though, she does decide to go with Batman. But why is she so scared of him? Why can't she trust him? Because the person behind everything that's going on right now, this is the biggest spoiler of this review. If you don't want to hear it, you could just cut out here, and we'll see you guys next week. But the big reveal here, if you didn't read Batman Eternal 43, is Stephanie Brown claims that the person behind everything going on in Gotham is Bruce Wayne. Of course, we all know that's impossible, because it's obviously somebody that's playing as Bruce Wayne. But who is it? Who actually was able to pretend he was Bruce Wayne, to put all of this into motion? Who wants this great revenge against Bruce Wayne / Batman?
Well, who do you think it might be?
I have no clue.
Well, you know it's not.
And we're at issue 43. 9 issues, 9 more weeks to go. For all the weeklies, there's only 9 weeks left. Thank God for the other 2, and I'm excited to see where all of this... I mean, we got to the part now where Batman, the series, Batman touched on in, I believe it was issue 26 or 27, maybe it was 31?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there, yeah, from 26 to 31, yeah. We passed that point. Now we got to get to the point where Batman Eternal issue 1 was, where Bruce was tied up on the broken bat symbol. We need to get to that part now. Now, how many issues? We got 9 weeks left. I'm saying we're going to get to that part in about 5 weeks, because it's going to take about 4 issues to move forward from that and get out of Batman Eternal. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. My favorite weekly out of all the weeklies that are coming out right now, I think it's ridiculous that there's 3. You know, Batman Eternal started off strong, got a little weak, and now it's building up again for the grand finale. Future's End started off okay and slowly declined because it was too much of a cluster of everything. World's End started off very strong. Earth 2 World's End started off very strong, but it just tanked. It declined so bad right now, and I see it's trying to fight its way back up, but because it dived so far down, it's taking a while for it to reach back up again. I will say though, in World's End, the artwork was really good, and we could see we could see it starting to build up again. So I'm sort of enjoying it a little bit more than Future's End. But again, it's still not as strong as it was in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I'm very focused on just Darkseid kicking Earth 2's butt. And no matter what the heroes do, they just continue to fail and fail and fail, and things get worse and worse and worse. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, as always, guys, don't forget to check out comic-related, Comic Frontline Zone 4 podcast and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together we're your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Feel free to comment below. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. We love hearing from you guys, and we'll answer your guys' comments in the comments below. Don't forget, this Tuesday, tomorrow, is Frontline Live, and this Friday, Dark Avenger Live. And until then, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys in the next review.
Later, everybody.